Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we return to Passant, a chess roguelike. You guys really liked the first time we played this, so today we'll be playing 2 stages instead of just 1. Let's dive in. Alright, this is our previously saved game. We will just continue. Alright, and this is exactly the page we were on last time. We did have this special piece that we'll take a look at in just a second. We have $11 to work with, and right now on the board we have a bishop, a queen, and a courtesan. Besides that, just the 8 pawns and the king. Let's go ahead and start checking out what options we have. For badges, we have hidden treasure. On round start, mark 1 square. If a friendly piece is moved to that square, gain $3. Oh, that could be a very easy way to get a lot of money just by spamming that square. But there's also a possibility that it's single use only, where if you land a piece on it, you gain $3 and then you don't get anything else further. Okay, it's amusing. Let's see what the other badge option is. Spare change. Gain an additional $3 reward at round end. We skipped this one last time. We'll go ahead and buy it this time now that we've got a little extra cash, and that will give us $3 at the end of every round. Okay, for coins, which I'm generally not a fan of, demote the selected unit to a pawn for $3, or immediately transform the lowest value piece on your setup board into a piece that's 1 to 3 value higher. Again, not a huge fan. I'd rather just straight up buy better pieces. All right, we can buy pawns for $1, which is cool, or we can buy a gold empress, which you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. Special rules. Knight moves are considered to be jumps and cannot be blocked. Golden, gain $1 if still on the board after winning a match. Well, the cool thing is I'm unlikely to leave this hanging anyways. So let's go ahead and buy the gold empress, which moves like a rook and a knight. All right, sweet. We now have a golden piece on our board. You guys also informed me that I can switch around my setup, which is pretty cool. So I'll probably centralize. Actually, no, let's do this. Let's move all of our strong pieces to one side and then put the courtesan on the other. Since this courtesan can tie down pieces, as you can see on the left-hand side, opponents' pieces adjacent to the courtesan may not be moved. So this will basically be our kingside defensive piece, and then the queen, the empress, and the bishop will all be our offensive pieces. So with that, we have $1 left over. Let's go ahead and move on to the stage. All right, for the first round, we can either do standard, challenging, or just skip the round, which obviously we're not going to choose because we need the cash. The only difference between standard and challenging is a couple of extra pawns, so we might as well pick that one. It's worth noting that we do still have different victory conditions, so we can either check 6 turns in a row, checkmate obviously, take all of the non-king pieces, which there are probably too many for that to actually work. Oh no, where are my win conditions? There we go. Plus 10 score for 2 turns, which would require taking both of the rooks back to back, or 20 more turns without a capture, but we lose $2 on that reward. Okay, so we're gonna try to go for one of the first 2. Let's start by just developing. All right, our opponent does the same. We'll develop towards the center, a little Queen's Gambit action. D4, I'm totally fine with trading this off, so let's do that. Opponent takes back, and let's start by developing the bishop, putting it on this long diagonal. Ooh, we do get F5, supported by the rook as well. If I move the bishop back to F3, there are ideas of like E4, bishop to H5, G6, and then that bishop is trapped. So the other option is bishop D5, centralizes the bishop. If we get C6 booting the bishop, there's bishop to E6, which supports queen to D7, which looks really exciting. So let's try that. Okay, we get F4 instead. We haven't used the empress yet, which is quite tempting. Let's do this. Let's play empress to D3. Okay, and we get bishop to F6. I'm going to be honest, the idea was one of 2. The empress was targeting the E5 pawn, and the empress and the queen form a battery on the D file. But our opponent, this AI, I guess, is pretty good because it moved that weak bishop out of the way, and with that same bishop, defended the E5 pawn. So this AI is no dummy. Okay, let's insist with knight to C5, try to bring more pieces into the attack. We do get C6. There's the idea of now of, or did I say knight to c5? We should probably call it what it is, which is an empress. We could also move the empress to e6, which gives check like a rook. The king moves out of the way. I mean, I guess I could give discovered check and sack the bishop. There's probably mating ideas there, so let's give it a try. Check with the empress. King moves up. Wow, onto the same file as the queen. No fear, because if I move this bishop, I hang the empress. Wow, that is a very strong move. Okay, let's move it back and give check again. King shuffles over to c7. What's the play here? I'm actually not certain. Let's just play bishop to e6. We get g5, which seems like a pretty weak move. There's ideas here of queen to d7, or even just empress to d7. Let's do that. Gives check. King moves back. Now there's this discovered check by taking the rook. And actually, we can take the second rook. We've scored +5. We can score +5 again. Oh, wait, did that not end the round? Oh, is it because I gave away the Empress? Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I saw it was defended. I just didn't think it mattered because I gained +5, then I gained +5 again. All right, well, that's good to know. Let's play C5 and try to force mate. We get B6. It's still forced mate. So check, check, and that is checkmate. So we did win the round, but we didn't get the extra dollar from the Empress because I guess your score has to be +10 without your opponent being able to take back. So in total, we earned $9, which isn't bad. That's pretty good. Let's see what we can buy with that. All right, we have discount card. Items in the shop cost $1 less. It's not bad, but I'll bet that there's better. Lazy present. On round start, mark 1 square. If a friendly piece is moved to that square, receive a random coin if there's space, and I don't have any coins. It's not a bad thing, I guess. I don't know that I want it to occupy one of my badge spots, though. What are the coins? Freeze the selected unit, okay. And queen, so promote to a queen. You know what? I'd rather just get a queen myself right now and have $1 left over. Okay, let's shuffle this around. The Empress moves like a rook, and it can develop like a knight. Let's move it to G1 and then bring the queens side by side. Okay, I think with that, we're ready to start. Actually, wait. So some of these stages are actually pretty weak. So what happens if I just like move these pawns to the back rank, double up my queen, and then also line up the Empress on this open file? And actually, I'll move this pawn over so it's defending this kind of pawn chain. I don't know if this is too aggressive, but you know what? Let's give it a try. All right, again, standard and challenging. Ooh, what's going on with challenging? There's a queen and a... Oh, what is that called again? I gotta be honest, I don't remember. Oh, it's called a man, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this piece is called a man and it moves like a king, which is interesting. Because on my first turn, I can move the Empress to D3, and then I have a triple battery staring at these two pieces. So let's do that. That seems amazing, actually. And my own enemy's pawns would actually restrict their movement. Oh, this is amazing. Oh yeah, Empress here, and how do you get out of that? Oh, it's impossible. Nice. E6, we just take. Thank you. The queen moves out of the way. Okay, how do we finish this off? Check on D8. King to E7. Our opponent is fighting for their life here. We could just give 6 checks, which wouldn't be difficult at all. Or we could take the queen, but I kind of want the extra dollar from having the Empress on the board. Let's do that. Let's give the 6 checks. Check number 1, queen captures. Okay, if I take with the queen, king to F6, check number 2. Yeah, I could probably eke out 6 checks from that. So check number 2. Check number 3. Okay, blocks with the pawn. Let me make sure I don't run out of checks by accident. Okay, 4. Blocks with the pawn again. 5. Oh, that was 6. Whoops, my bad. Counting is not my forte, but apparently giving checks is. So we win how many dollars? $6? But the spare change kicks in, so we win 9 in total. Hey, that's not bad. Oh, and the Empress. So it's actually 10. Hey, I think that's our first double-digit loot. That's pretty good. All right, proceed to the shop. Let's see what we can actually buy with that. All right, we can buy zombie pawns. Pawns revive in the first empty square found after being dead for 2 turns. Okay, I barely use pawns, so I could care less. Field promotion. On round start, mark 1 square. They really love this mark 1 square idea. If a friendly standard piece, including the king, is moved to that square, upgrade it to its fairy version. Ooh. You know what? That's actually pretty interesting. Not to mention, it's worth noting that these pieces are relatively weak. So maybe this is interesting. Other options are helping hand. Immediately give a random piece on your setup board a special modifier. It's all right. Boost, immediately transform. Okay, I'm not really interested in that. I could spend $3 on re-rolling again. I don't really love any of these. I kind of wish I'd bought the queen coin now that I think about it. Okay, this might be a waste of $3, but I guess I've played too much dice chess and now I just like gambling. So let's roll and see what we get. Okay, hey, this looks more exciting. All right. Cannon. Place a cannon on your setup grid. It moves like a rook and takes with an explosion, destroying all adjacent pieces except kings. After taking, the cannon moves 1 square backwards, destroying any piece in its path or falling off the board. Wow, that is that ridiculously strong, or am I crazy? I'm sorry, that seems obscenely strong, but let's see what this is. Go long, dad. Pieces placed on the 2nd row of your setup grid now spawn on the 3rd. That's all right. I mean, it would just move the pawns forward, I guess. So let's do this. Let's go with the cannon. I love that idea. Okay, and it's gonna move 1 step back and destroy anything in its path. So let's do a little maneuvering here. Let's move this out of the way. Move the cannon up. Oh, can I not move it on? Oh, I can't put it on this? Why? Because it's a fairy piece? I was able to move a queen up here. Or is it because there's a pawn behind it? Can I move it here? No. You cannot place this piece on the second rank. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, if I can't place it on the second rank, then I'd rather it be on the F rank, obviously not on E2 because I don't want it to capture my own king. I don't know if it would even allow that, but I'm actually gonna get rid of this pawn. Can I just get rid of it? Oh, I can recycle. Did I get money for that? Oh, I got $1 for that. Hey, that's not bad. And I'm gonna put it on the G file because I want the file to already be open so I can just move it up 1 square. Oh, and I said I was gonna put it on the F file, didn't I? Okay, so let's shuffle these guys over. You're going on the F file now, and the courtesan will still be, you know, relatively close, but we have a very strong D file, a very strong F file. I mean, we are going to be tough to beat. Let's move on to the next stage. All right, boss level. What are we dealing with? Bunch of pawns, knight, queen, rook. Boss modifier, enter the dragon. The boss's king is replaced by a dragon king, which moves as a queen. Okay, it seems much more likely that we're gonna win this based on checks, because that's a pretty tough call right there. All right, he moves like a queen. Let's keep that in mind. Okay, I could do the same strategy. I'd be threatening d7. The opponent could just move the pawn forward, and then there's not really a threat. Assuming they did allow me to capture, takes. Didn't actually do anything for me. Okay, so that's kind of a waste of time. Let's move the cannon up 1 so he's actually active. We get e5, and let's counter that with e4. Start fighting for the center as well. Ooh, queen to h4 is extremely aggressive. I'm not sure what the idea is. Oh, targeting e4. Okay, fair enough. Let's just, well, I guess g3 isn't necessary, but this queen is pitting my cannon at the moment, which I don't love, to be honest. Okay, let's play c4. The bishop will defend the e4 pawn. Oh, and the queen captures, which is now tied down by the courtesan, but surely I can just take back. Okay, that seemed like probably a fair-ish trade. I mean, it's maybe not perfect, but we'll develop the empress now. So we target d7 once more. We get b6, stopping the queen from moving to a7. I'm starting to think this AI is pretty good. Let's play queen to f5, target d7 again. d6 immediately moves it out of the way. Interesting. We have to really be careful of this king because it's going to want to develop any second now, and we're not going to want to see that. Okay, let's develop another queen, so we can restrict its movement. We get king to e7. It chooses to move normally, which is actually very amusing. Okay, let's give this check. King moves back. Oh, I think we've got him pretty much cornered here. Wait, does queen to c8 not just deliver mate? Oh, it hangs the queen, of course. Oh, thank goodness I have these undos. Oh, thank goodness I have undo. Oh, goodness. I only have 2 left, though, so I should use them sparingly, but holy smokes. Okay, so, right, queen to c8 just hangs it. I don't know why I thought if it was mate, like maybe that wouldn't happen, but obviously it did. Okay, so we need to be careful here. Holy smokes. Suddenly I feel way less powerful than I did a moment ago. Okay, let's play bishop to c2 to control a4. I'm really nervous about this king like developing and somehow capturing my relatively exposed king. Not to mention, this guy is totally immune to my courtesan, so he does nothing. We get b5. I guess I could push c5 and have the empress come into play on d8 supported by the queen, so let's try that on for size. h5 completely ignores it, targets the queen. What if I just take? I lose the queen. Check. King moves over, promote. Or the knight could sack, queen takes, king moves over, promote again, empress supports it. Actually, this might be fine. Let's go ahead and take. Opponent takes the queen, we give check. Opponent sacks. Oh, the empress is the only one defending that. Oops. Okay, let's take back with the queen. We've played this quite badly. Knight comes out. Queen to f5 seems reasonable. King develops. Okay, this is the scary part. Threatening the bishop right away. Let's shuffle the empress over to counterattack it. Okay, and it does move back. Check with the queen. We're playing a little bit defensively, but I kind of need to. Okay, the king is kind of cornered here, isn't he? Very cornered, actually. He is pinning our empress to the king, which is a little bit of a concern. What about queen c5 here? The knight would take on e4, but the bishop can take back, so that's not really an issue. Or even better, what about a3? The empress would defend it after b4, we give that check. Okay, let's try that on for size. Seems reasonable. Ooh, c6 doesn't do anything about that. Check. Oh, king escapes backwards. Right. Moves like a queen, of course. Okay, let's... who do we bring into battle here? Develop the queen to c5. King shuffles over. Oh, it feels like there should be an attack here, but I'm really not as strong as I think. Okay, I guess I don't really want to take on c6 because the king just shuffles out of the way. And I'm kind of afraid of this king getting a little too much space on the board. So what about queen check here? Oh goodness, that's just free. Okay, we've used up another undo. Holy smokes, it's so hard for me to like kill my chess heuristics to actually work with what's on the board. Okay, we'll do the same idea, but with queen to d6. King shuffles over. We don't want him to come into play, so empress to c5 to block that idea. Nice, a5, trying to break free here. If we take on c6, opponent takes on b4, check on a6, king moves back, check here, the king escapes. Oh, it's so bad. And if I take with the empress giving check, the king just takes on g1. Ugh, it's not looking great. Okay, this isn't really what I wanted out of this game, but we might just have to play a little more defensively. Let's start by taking on e5. Rook comes out to e8, immediately skewers the queen to the pawn. Let's move back to d4 to keep that defended. Pawn takes, I can take back, the queen defends a1, king to c7. Okay, almost certainly looking to take on h2. Let's push e5 to cut off that idea. We get g6. The pawn is pinned, so I can't take the knight, but I could play check here. Okay, let's give that a try. Check on d6. King moves over, seems to just hang the knight. I could take on c6 as well. If I take on c6 with check, the king can move back. And then again, it's really hard to mate this piece. So I might just want to play for capturing all of the pieces. Yeah, so I'm just going to take this knight. Or, yeah, I'll just take the knight. King goes back. We should probably defend a1, but even then, if the king takes, I can just play bishop d1. There shouldn't be any other checks. So let's keep taking. Let's take on c6. Rook takes on e5. Is that not just free? Oh, if I take back, the king takes back here. It should be an escapable thing, though, so let's take. Oh, king takes on a1. Oh, so that it forks the king and the empress. Wow, this AI is incredible. Okay, let's play king to d2. At least offer the courtesan, okay, but it takes the empress instead, which is reasonable. Let's play queen to e4 just to centralize that piece, even though we drop h2. Yeah, that's okay. Bring up the courtesan, who will probably just be a defensive piece. Let's shuffle him over. Genuinely curious what the AI's strategy here is. Let's target the pawn on b5. Okay, the AI doesn't defend it, so it seems like I can just take. Let's take the pawn on b5. Puts us in check. Oh, forks the king and the bishop. Holy smokes. Okay, fair play. Oof. Let's play this, I guess. We're dropping the pawn on b4, so we should probably defend that. Check to pick up this pawn is pretty darn strong. Okay, let's shuffle over the courtesan. We can probably try for promotion. So let's target the pawn on f7. King comes in for the pin. We can push. King gives check. Let's shuffle over. Check again. Back. Check again. Block with the courtesan. King goes all the way back. We push. King comes to d6. Again, we push. And the king blocks. Okay. It seems like we can just capture here. And capture on g6. Okay, so we actually did defeat the bot, but that was an extremely close round. How much did we earn? We earned $8. The other thing should kick in as well. So we earned 11 in total, which seems to be our leading reward at the moment. All right. With that, we cleared one other stage. Let's do another one. So that was stage number 2, if you count the first one we did in the first episode. All right, we have $13 to work with. Whew, that was a real stressor. Let's try this again. Our badge options are line goes up, gain an additional $1 reward at round end for every $5 held. Over time, that would add up quickly, but right now it's not of great interest. Rooks can be promoted to empresses, would be a little bit interesting, although empresses I've learned now are kind of unintuitive to work with. We could buy a queen coin, which actually makes a lot of sense. Or an ice coin, which I'd rather not. We could buy a normal queen, a normal knight, or a princess. Knight moves are considered to be jumps, so it moves like a bishop and a knight. I'm going to be honest, I'd rather just have a queen on the board, even though it's a lot more expensive. So let's buy a queen, and then with the extra $4, let's buy a queen coin as well. Why not? If you can't tell, I really love queens. I mean, it works, it plays to my strength, which is, normal chess. So let's move these pawns back here, line up the queen. It will be looking at the king, which I guess makes sense. Actually, can I move my king? Wait a second. Okay, I know you can't go up. Can I just move? That makes so much more sense. Okay, we're lining up these two pieces right down the middle. The courtesan will probably just sit around somewhere near the king, just in the general vicinity. And I'd like the cannon to be looking straight down. I think, actually no, even better, let's just put you in a corner right away. Oh, that's beautiful. This is the most majestic setup I've ever seen. Amazing. Okay, let's move on with that. I feel pretty good about that. Okay, standard has 4 rooks, a queen and a king, and challenging has a normal chess setup, but one of the bishops is swapped for a rook. That's really not that bad considering we have 3 queens and an empress and a cannon. So actually, wait, can I switch this around still? Because I'd love to move forward with the cannon and capture on d7, explode all of these pieces. So let's do that. Let's shuffle you over here. Cannon on this, right. Okay, let's just recycle one of these pawns. I don't need all these pawns. Let's move the cannon to C1 so I can move it up to C2. We'll put a bishop next to the courtesan while we're at it. And this is pretty promising. All right, let's rock and roll with this for challenging. All right, cool. I don't really care about losing the cannon. If I can drop it on C7 and blow up all of these pieces, let me make sure I've read this right. Creates an explosion where it takes, destroying all adjacent pieces excluding the king, moves 1 square away from the piece it takes, destroying any piece in its path. Okay, so I should be good to just capture here. Nice, and then he falls off the board from C1, which is totally fine, but we've basically eliminated the entire army. I mean, this should be mate in not too many moves. Queen to E6 to restrict the king's movement. Check on D7, check on D8, and then check on D8 again. Wins the game. All right, way easier now that we've actually started playing strategically before putting moves on the board. We win $6. Let's let those $3 of spare change kick in. Thank you very much. And the extra $1 from the Empress, which we didn't even have to touch, so $10 from that round alone. All right, proceed to the shop. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about these queens, feeling pretty good about the cannon. I like my piece placement. I love that the king is in the corner now. All right, what else do we have? Retreating pawns. Pawn can move backwards 1 step at a time. That, I'm throwing away pawns. I'm literally recycling pawns as I go. What else do we have? Knight promotions. Knights can be promoted to princesses. That's interesting. Why is this one special? Ghostly Knight. Okay, let's finish reading these. Cherries. Immediately receive $2 for each cherry purchased this game, including this one. No thanks. Money coin. Select a piece to gain half its value in money. No, I'd rather just recycle at that point. Ghostly Knight. Special rules. Knights can jump. Ghostly. When taken, a gravestone appears. If a king moves there, revive this piece. Oh, that sounds good, but it would take a lot of strategy to implement that correctly. When right now my strategy is brute force. What else do we have? Rooks, and we have a man, of course. I would like to have a man actually right here in front of the king so it can capture and actually defend in a way that a pawn can't. So I'm gonna go ahead and recycle this pawn. It was nice knowing you, buddy, but we're gonna put a man in your place. No, you're coming over here, bud. All right. Sweet. I like the defensive setup. We have a courtesan that can attach onto enemy pieces. We have a man that can move like a king. And we have our offensive linemen on this side, which I feel pretty good about. I don't think I need anything else, so let's just move on to the next stage. All right, we have standard, which is again the normal setup, but with a rook. And we have challenging, which has a bunch of men at the front, which isn't really a concern when I'm going to eliminate half of those on the first swipe anyways. So let's go with challenging. All right. Hopefully our opponent learned their lesson, but apparently they didn't because we're taking on C7, bye-bye cannon, and they've played the man forward 1 square. Okay, this will be a little bit different. Actually, it shouldn't even be different at all. I should just be able to play the queen here, lose it to the man, replace it with the Empress. Oh, but the Empress isn't a queen. The Empress is a rook and a knight. Okay, so it is a little bit different. Let's play check first. I could probably just do this based off 6 checks. So let's do check number 2. Check number 3. Oh, this is going to be mate. And before we even get check number 4, we checkmate our opponent to win round number 2. All right, we are definitely getting the hang of this. $6, thank you very much. Give me the extra 3. And don't forget that I've got the Empress on the board. Booyah. All right, $10 in total. Sweet. Proceed to the shop to prepare for the boss round. Oh, is this new? Okay, we have the lazy present where we can mark a square and receive a random coin if we move a piece there, which is okay, I guess. Lost coins gain an additional $2 reward at round end for every empty badge slot. I only have 1 empty badge slot, so it's $2. I mean, it's all right. I'd rather more queens, to be honest. Pawn coin and ice coin, sure, those are fine. We can buy a knight, and a pawn. Okay, I think we should just re-roll this. Okay, this is a little bit better. Atomic badge. All units explode when captured. The enemy's second row becomes their third to compensate. Kings cannot take each other. Wow, that is pretty bad for our opponent. What's the other option? Buffalo. Place a buffalo on your setup grid. Buffalo moves as a knight and a camel. Okay, that's fine, but it's $6 for a piece that I'm going to misunderstand on my 3rd turn, so it's not really worth it. We have bishops, we have a rook, and we have another princess. Okay, let's go atomic. I mean, that looks just very exciting. So we've used up all of our badge slots. We might want to get rid of one of these at some point. Oh, we could probably get rid of the courtesan at some point. It hasn't been all that helpful, and it kind of acts as a man anyways and doesn't even do anything for the king. So we might be thinking of, putting him on the sidelines, but let's move on to the next stage for now. Boss modifier is a rainbow. Double rainbow, my bad. At match start, make 3 random enemy pieces rainbow. Rainbow pieces spawn a random friendly piece when taken. All right, let's do that, I guess. Rainbow. When taken, spawn a random piece with a value less than half of this. Less than half? Oh, you can barely spawn anything with these then. Okay, this is fine. Sweet. So the cannon can't do the same thing it did before because it would just blow up like the pawn and the 2 men next to it, which I mean is fine, but doesn't really do much for us. More interesting actually would be to take on e6 to sack the queen. When the bishop takes back, we can take back with the empress, give check, and probably capture the queen on the next turn, although I don't know if that's losing too much material for really not a lot of gain. Okay, what happens if I just develop the cannon? I mean, it's hard for my opponent to move too many pieces because he can always just pile through and explode them. Okay, you want this pawn? This is a really nice looking pawn, isn't it? Oh, all pieces explode. Oh, yeah, you've got to be kidding me. I forgot about my atomic badge. Okay, all pieces explode. Sure. All right, so here's what we'll do then. Whoops, that was a kind of newbie mistake for no reason. Let's play queen to e3, develop the bishop, and then have that explode. So bishop c4 is safe. Bishop to b7, which could end the game here. Is that a huge issue? Probably. What happens if I play f3? I guess it would blow up my queen. You know what? Let's play bishop d5. Okay, my opponent plays knight to c6. I can take and blow up all of these pieces. Oh, and it blows up all of those. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, it's so bad. You know what? This is unwinnable. Undo. How many can I undo? If I undo 2 more, does that give me back another piece? 1 and 2. No, it doesn't. It just undevelops my bishop. Okay. I'm still happier with this than the other position, though, I'll be honest. Okay, so we need a check. That's basically what we need. What if we give check like this? Right, knight to c6. That makes sense. If I take the knight, all of these pieces explode. The queen can take this and blow up all the rest of my pieces as well, which is usually not a good thing. Oh, but what if I take the man? It blows up the knight, gives check to the king. I like the sound of that. Let's sack the queen. Oh, but we lose the queen to the rook. Okay. Check again. How do you defend this one? Opponent surrenders. Sweet. All right, we figured it out. Basically just clear the way by blowing up pieces. You win. Oh, and this is where the demo ends. Perfect. That was exactly 2 more stages, which is what we wanted to play. The full game will continue for another 2 stages with an endless mode as well. First challenge level unlocked to beat stage 3. All right, sweet. So with that, we actually finished the game Passant. Now I will add this little caveat, which is that in the settings, we can change the AI mode to challenging and grandmaster. Now, I don't know how I will fare against these 2, but it is an option in case you guys want to see me play more Passant. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.